Oh, okay.
But yeah, he got trolled by some white supremacists and then responded, and then he got suspended.
Okay.
But we saw him for the grifties. He came out for the grifties and did his thing. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, we live. What up,
Oh,
people? I'm glad we ain't say nothing private. I am.
That Hotep Jesus dude.
Got a wonderful conversation lined up for y'all today with a very, very special individual. Somebody who's very near and dear to my heart. I just love the content she creates. I love her mind. I love what she means to the world. I love what she means to the black community. I love what she's done with Donovan. Donovan was suffering from some ailments, and I'm like, man, you ain't got no Hotep in your life, dog. So I referred him to Project Rook. He's been documenting his journey on Twitter and on Motherboard.com, and it's been a wonderful experience for him. But this is somebody who I have the pleasure and the honor to speak to. Absolutely drop dead gorgeous, absolutely just brilliant, smart, provocative, insightful. Her podcast just makes me laugh because like she be cussing y'all out. she don't care. She is unapologetic, and she be cussing. You would think she ain't gonna be cussing, but she be cussing on her podcast, and she be going off. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Project Rook.
what's going on, good people?
First and foremost, how are you? How are you holding up?
I'm fantastic. I'm better than I've ever been. Life is stupendous, tremendous. Yeah.
So
all of that.
These events haven't brought you down.
Nah, not at all. Only been higher, only been up, only been like I talk my shit because I can back it up. So yeah, so things have been well. Things have been good. You know, I observe, I'm watching. I have family and friends like everybody else. So certain people have experienced things. Most of my hard hitters, no. Those who have advised, that have listened to wise counsel, have been well. You know, few things here and there, but outside of that, man, I'm good. I'm well.
Kenny Hotep, thank you for the super chat. He said, been waiting for this knowledge to drop. It's here. It is here. So you said some people who have been listening to the wise counsel have done well and others have not. What are these others experiencing? Have they been experiencing the bug?
You know what they've been experiencing? Exactly what they've been expecting to experience. So exactly what they've been looking for, they've been finding it. So they've been expecting to come in contact with certain things. They've been expecting, as a result of coming in contact with those things, to have certain effects from that. And they've been experiencing just that. See, ain't life beautiful? Congratulations, creator. Congratulations.
You've gotten exactly what you've dreamt about, what you thought about. What are the most consistent thoughts in your mind? You've attracted this. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly what you have married to, what you have created a union with. And you can't override emotions and where you lock yourself in, where your deepest convictions. So it is creation, conception, plus conviction equals creation. So it doesn't matter how you swing this thing. You are behind the driver's seat. And that's what people have experienced.
Run that equation past me one more time. Conception.
The equation again is conception.
Okay.
Plus conviction. Because you got to have the feeling, the vibration behind it, the true belief.
Right.
Equals creation. That's what draws it forth. Creation means just to bring forth. We just bring a thing forth. Because if we get technical about it, a good book says creation is finished. So you ain't really creating what doesn't already exist. You just bringing it forth. And that's what people have done. So even it's been fun watching the spiritual community because we talk a big game. And I mostly speak to those who talk big shit because that's the energy I got. So I like that. But we should be able to back that up. So if you have the faith, if you have the spiritual practices, if you say you the original, you say you all powerful, you got the ancestors on lock, then that should be able to serve you. But yeah, it seems almost like church folks. You just as sick as everybody else. Something ain't adding up.
The spiritual community you talk about.
Mm-hmm.
They getting sick.
Absolutely.
You've seen some of them be affected by the recent events of the past 2 years.
Not only be affected, but be paralyzed by the fear. Because you got to have that before you can be infected. That has to, the moment that you pause to a thing, the moment that there is a slight hesitation is what we can call in yoga that space, right? The moment that you have that, you change. So the moment you go on social media, you tap into television and you hear, this is the big one. They done let loose. It was some monkeys on the back of a truck. This the big one. It's about, listen, anybody that came in contact with them, be on the lookout for symptoms, right? As soon as you pause to that, yield to that, you make it true. You have convinced what you say subconsciously is, oh, damn. I better be on the lookout for that. I better be mindful of that. And so that's what a lot of folks have done. I don't want people to be confused about illness or sickness. And I like good questions. And when people say, listen, Rook, I hear what you're saying, but I'm telling you, man, even my sister said it. Like, listen, I was down bad. It's real. Is it? I mean, because if as a man thinketh, so is he. So it's almost like the people that want to debate between whether there's lack in the world or whether there's abundance. Well, depends on what vantage point you're looking from. So you're both correct. So the same thing applies when it comes to this illness game. So yes, you were sick, but I got news for a lot of people, Jack. Your ass was sick before 2019, 2020. So let's not make no mistake about it.
Hotep.
You've been sick. You've been sick. Like I'm like, what? Did we miss the stats? Our health been on the decline for a long time.
Right.
We've been popping pills and increasing usage of pharmaceutical drugs for a long time. Nobody thought to look at the side effects of those. Nobody thought. We got people saying I'm healthy, but they're on 3 different prescription drugs. How is that possible? But my blood pressure good. That ain't your blood pressure. That's the pills blood pressure. Come off them pills and let's see what your pressure is. So, yeah.
Did you get the Ninja Turtles? We call it the Ninja Turtles. Did you get, because it's different variants and mutations and whatnot. Did you get it?
I can't get something I don't believe exists. So I'm not quite sure that how that works. So I guess the answer would be no. No, not at all.
So somehow people have been plagued by a deadly virus, and Project Rook has been able to sidestep that. Maybe she's a magician. Canon Hotep said the laws of attraction are real. Absolutely. Brody McFarlane said, how much of Brody's hot chicken can I eat? I love it. Brody trolling.
Once a week. Tops.
So since you didn't get it, you probably went and got the vacation. You went and got the shot, didn't you?
The vaccine?
Yeah.
Nah.
You didn't get the shot?
Nah.
You supposed to get, Biden and Dr. Grifty said you're supposed to get the shot. Why you ain't get the shot?
Everybody I know that got it been sick. Everybody I know that got it, they got a range of things going on. They done got diagnosed with flu, pneumonia, bronchitis, Worst case scenario, and they didn't get in, it was my pops, but he didn't get an official diagnosis because it's hard to get a diagnosis for, yo, you've jacked up your system. Your system is inflamed. It's on fire. So he was just in debilitating pain from head to toe, couldn't hardly walk. Now, of course, he didn't make any connection to that. He's like, nah, that was way the top of last shit. No, not dang. And I didn't push it because I don't need him giving no energy to that. So if he don't believe that there's a connection there, then it doesn't serve either one of us to put his attention on that.
Correct.
So I just like, all right, cool. Now let's keep it real. Pop's health was already, we country folks. So going hard in the paint, overeating, that's what we do. Those, the top three: cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes. He never dealt with any diabetes to my knowledge. So he wasn't in the best of health. And this is what people don't understand. What is so dangerous when you say those whose system is already compromised, you actually needed more. Excuse me, what? Because the system that's already compromised, and now you're going to flood it with more foreign material, with more toxicity, and you're going to have a shitstorm on your hands. Now, so anyway, back in October, I had to go home, had to stop everything. Like, listen, bro. And normally I'm pretty laid back with my folks. Do whatever, you know how I get down, so I give you a little this, give you a little that. But once he got down, like, look at here, let's cut out the clown stuff. All right, this is what you need to do. Because he couldn't even lay down to sleep. He was like slumped over in the chair. Like, that's how he was having to sleep. And, initially they done gave him every pain medicine that they could give him, which is dangerous, right? Which gets a lot of folks hooked, that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm like, Pops, you got to look at what does pain actually mean, right? There's injury on the inside and the body's responding to some sort of blockage or some sort of hindrance of flow. That could be blood flow, lymph flow, or nerve flow. So what we're trying to do is reestablish some flow. First, we got to remove what is hindering. Whatever that, the body's natural ability to heal itself, something hinders that. So anyway, got them right. Got them to clean up the diet. We started slow because, the meat thing is like, oh, I don't know, bro. I don't know. So we pulled everything other than that. And by Thanksgiving, he came to town, but he was able to get around.
Okay.
So now fast forward, it's February and he back. But he's continuing. Now he's cut everything out. Like, he like hardcore. He told me yesterday, he gonna have his muscle shirt for the summer. I was like, oh, okay.
He cut out the meat too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he cut. And this is hardcore country, grew up, grandma had her little garden on the side, when he was younger, raising pigs, eating, like all of that. And because he's already seen, and this is what I ask people to give themselves a chance. I don't tell anybody how to live their life and what to eat, but I do believe that there is a science to this thing when it comes to restoring the health. So I ask folks, listen, just pause for a moment, give your system a break. Because you can do a thing so long that you don't even know how your body is responding. You don't even know what actually makes you feel good, what actually gives you a little gas, what actually makes you feel nauseated until you pull some things out, slowly adding back in. And you're like, whoa, there's a difference. So he's all in because he said he's about, we'll say 85%. He said he still has some pain, but he's had pain for as long as I can remember. As a kid, just lingering from old back surgeries and things like that. But I was like, bro, we clear all of that out. We don't half step. Like, I don't do average health at all. It's exceptional or nothing. Extraordinary or nothing. Miraculous.
Hotep.
or nothing. I don't want any piece of it. I'm like, we're gonna do it all. So he on board, he ready to go. And he went back to the doctor. His doctor was like, yeah, you know, your hip is something, and you may have to have a you know, we could go in and move some things around, or we could replace your hip. Nah, bro, we ain't replacing nothing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna restore. We're going to the same environment. This, first of all, the same power that created the body is the same power that heals the body. All you got to do is get out of the way, and one, you got to believe. I was like, Pops, listen. And before I could even finish, he was like, I told him, just give me 6 months. I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool to just watch. And it didn't come from me, you know, trying to knock anybody over the head, you know, walking the talk, being the example, and then being there when your folks are ready and receptive to receive. So, yeah.
What do you think was the catalyst that made him, because you said at one point he just, you know, it was some meat in his diet, and then eventually he just said no, and now he's like, yo, you know, muscle shirt for the summer. What do you think made that transition? What clicked in his mind, you think, that made him so gung-ho in making this transition?
A couple things. I think one, he knows he's been following his doctor's orders for years, and he's been getting worse. Now, he's been having really bad issues with his eyes for quite a while. He went and had cataract surgery some years ago, and that helped temporarily. But all cataracts is excess cholesterol in the eyes. So if you don't address why you have elevated cholesterol plaque in the body, just come back. You go and cut stuff out all you want. It just returns. Same thing when it comes to cancer or anything else. You can cut things out, but you have to address the environment that was conducive to that condition to begin with. So we started, in addition to his body just being all over the place and being in pain, that was the number one focus: pain relief, pain relief, pain relief. Because I don't care how much of a believer you are, you get down bad and that pain gets severe, it is hard to stay focused on anything other than that pain.
Right.
So anyway, we did that, but then I gave him some herbs for his eyes. He was like, I tell you what, between the good Lord and them last herbs you gave me, it looked like, you know, the fog done came off my eyes. I was like, Pops, this is how all of it works.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think just a little bit being able to see for yourself. This is why it's good to listen to people. It's good to listen to, you know, hear experiences and stories from others, but you got to test that thing and try it out for yourself, because there's no greater learning and teaching than self-experience. So I think just that process of him listening to the doctors, every time he go back, it's some new pills, or they got to up the dosage, or they got to switch some things around. And for him in just a few months to see improvement, he like, everything they gave me, then none of it worked. None of it worked. But everything that you have gave me, I see improvement. I was like, well, what was on a scale of 1 to 10, we first got started, at your worst, what were you? He was like 99. I was like, so what do you say you are now? He said, probably about a 2. He was so casual with it. I'm like, bro, you know, that's pretty significant. That is. 99 to 2. So I think him seeing for himself, but also I think he sees me differently.
He sees you differently.
I think he sees me differently. And what I mean by that is the more I'm in my lane and I'm in my power, I have the ability to positively impact those around me without saying anything. So they feed off of my surety, my confidence, my power. It ignites them. And it's just my spirit talking to their spirit. That's all that's happening. And boom. Because him, my mom, like I talked to him yesterday. I told him, like, listen, I'm gonna have to put you on a schedule. You can't just be, I got stuff to do. You calling me all throughout the day, every day, Pop. So I got to get some stuff done. He was like, yeah, I went and cleaned out the deep freezer. And we come from that lack mindset. So he would just keep stuff piled in, fish and just meat that somebody done killed a deer and cut it up and brought it to him, just piled and piled in for years. He said, man, I cleaned all that stuff. All I got in there now, I got me some fruits and vegetables in there. I was like, okay. And he's ready. And see, once you are ready, oh man, it's finished. It's done. There's nothing more powerful than a made up mind. And he's on his way. So I look forward to, I'm just sitting back waiting. That's all. And he was like, I'm about to try to kick this up. You know, I'm going to double up on my pills. I was like, I ain't asked you to do all that. You know? Just slow your roll, you know? Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty cool to watch.
I know that's got to make you feel good.
It does, because it takes me back to all of my struggles. And so every person that I've been able to help directly initially is helping other people. And other people would say to me, like, man, I know your family feel so grateful. I'm like, them niggas don't listen to me. Like, right. They don't listen to me. So to see Mom Dukes come around, to see Pops come around, you know, even my husband, like, okay, he like, listen, I done learned one thing. I ain't questioning you. I done seen enough. You know what I mean? So and this is the power of what I speak to every person. You got to make your health a priority, because you have the ability through working on yourself and transforming your own life to impact everybody around you. So when clown shit, like what's been happening these past 2 years happens, you are the anchor. And everybody else can feed off of you if need be. Ideally, you know, we all being able to stand together solid and stay connected. But if not, you are that anchor. You are that constant foundational piece that doesn't waver.
First of all, shout out to Tanah Ricks in the channel. Excuse me. Dr. Tanai Ricks, PhD, is in the chat, organic chemist. Many of you are familiar with him. I have several conversations with him on his channel. Make sure y'all get in tune. He said, yes, sir, got to support my sister. Cassius Cam, thank you. You said that's the difference between hope and faith. Hope is the lack of faith. Faith supersedes the need for hope. Wise words from Cassius Cam as usual. So the interim period between when loved ones are in the devastated state and transitioning to the renewed state, how do you deal with some of those emotions, knowing that you're the one that possesses the knowledge and the closest people to you don't listen, don't want the knowledge, and you have to watch them die? How do you deal with those emotions?
I always remember me. I always remember, I'm always referencing, you know, former Rook, present Rook, future Rook. So for quite a while, I didn't want to listen to a lot of things. And I always remember myself, and I see myself in others. But I just have a great respect for the process of life. And I have just an impeccable understanding about how spirit is all, and spirit never gets it wrong. And I honor the spirit man in every person. And at the core of that is choice. So I don't know their path. I don't know ultimately what it is they're asking for and what it is they're resistant to. Because there are a lot of changes that are happening, you know, on this planet in an energy sense, in a spiritual sense. And I think a lot of folks are getting tripped up because there's a hesitance to let go of the old. The old world is crashing. So the old way of approaching things, everybody talk about freedom, right? And it's sexy, right? Oh, freedom, freedom, freedom. And it sounds good. But most of us cannot even free ourselves from the narrative, like the matrix. We so tapped in the idea that you are enough, that you can take care of your health, that you don't need anybody else, that you can heal yourself, that your body has the wisdom to. Pointing out the lies, just the tomfoolery in the media, that's easy, right? Mm-hmm. But can you pull away from it? Can you stand without it? It's like the folks who I've heard say, well, I understand, all of this is just a cold. So why are you tripping over trying to get some drug that you wouldn't normally take for a cold? So is it just a cold or isn't it? Which one? You gotta check yourself at all times. It's so very important. Self-check. Right. I know what I say, but what is my response? Right. Because that's going to expose you. Whenever you are unsure of how solid you are in your beliefs, look at your behavior. Mm-hmm. So if I believe that a thing is not a threat to me, if I believe that this thing is as common as anything that I've experienced in the last 5 years, why would my approach be different? Right. Unless deep down, I don't believe that. It's almost like church folk, like, or, they dip and dive, they be like, well, I don't really believe, hell don't make sense to me, but just in case. just in case. So a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Hotep.
So you gotta, where are you? This is what I love about the last 2 years. Like the Matrix has put on a clinic. I mean, the gifts that it has presented us. Now, what we've done with it is another thing. But it has given us an opportunity, one, to reflect on ourselves, to turn attention inward. Of course you're afraid. Of course you think it's real. When that's all you replay over and over every day. Even when you're trying to prove something. Like, you still tapped in. Right. You still tapped into that world. So I think, going back to the idea of freedom, how free do you really want to be when you say that? Are you really willing to believe that you and you alone are enough, that no matter what happens in the Matrix, no matter what they do or don't do, no matter what goes on in other countries and politics, do you believe that you can create an immunity around yourself, that it can't nothing penetrate, that you good? Like, it don't matter what is happening. I ain't going hungry. Ain't gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Like, it just ain't gonna happen. It don't matter what, you can release whatever you want. And what that got to do with me? So how susceptible you are to the things that are happening is, that's the part you ultimately determine. Right. And that's not only through the things that you do in the physical, but most importantly, what you do through the non-physical. Because that's gonna get you every single time.
Ken and Hotep said, I'm inspired already. Let's go. Reminds me of the journey me and my pops took 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
She said, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Yo, she got some bars. She got some quotables in here. Y'all better pay attention, man.
And that's the good book. That's James 1:8. I can't take credit for that one.
Oh, okay. I'm like, damn.
James 1:8.
She got all the gems.
But you know how you really get more, that when you talk about being introspective, if you just live, if you will, no matter what will happen in life, no matter what comes up. I love the series on, it ain't a lot that matter of fact, I've canceled it now, but on Netflix, the series is called Altered Carbon.
Oh, yeah.
And the reoccurring theme is take what is offered and use it. Take what is offered and use it. It does not matter what comes before me, right? If I approach everything with that same energy, and this goes back to what you're asking about, how do I, when you're dealing with someone who you can help, who you have the ability, the information and the knowledge, and one, they don't want it, and two, they're not receptive to it. I take what is offered and I use it. And then I understand that people can only be where they are. So I read that. Like, if there are a couple of folks in my family right now who are down bad and are getting worse. I know for a fact I could help them. I know for a fact what they're doing that is making them worse. I know for a fact that if they don't stop doing some of the things that the doctor is telling them to do, time gonna be running out. sooner than later. Right. I know this, right? But it's a couple of things that I have to be always mindful of. I'm mindful of my own power in that we all intercede on the behalf of another. And what does that mean? Wherever I allow my thoughts to go about that person, I begin to create scenes and scenarios here. So we understand that we're all connected energetically. I can help them in a way that I ultimately don't want to, just by playing out. All right, they keep that. All right, then this is gonna happen. All right, this is next. So if I can't in my mind see them where I believe they truly desire to be, I just keep them out of my mind altogether. I just don't even put any thought to it. That's the best way that I handle that, because it's one of those, if you ain't, your mom would say, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. Right. Well, if you don't have any good thoughts, you don't think nothing at all.
Wow. Right.
And this is critical right now as the lid is about to blow with all this nonsense that's going on. There are a lot of folks that are injured. And there are a lot of folks who know folks who've partaked in something that in the devil's wine, right? Mm-hmm. So the best way that you help these people, let's go into physical right quick.
Okay.
Let's just switch back to the physical real quick. The fact is, everybody didn't get the same batch. Everybody did not get the same formula, right? So you're absolutely going to have some people who are absolutely fine. What I would do, this is how I get in my magic bag.
You're talking about the Fauci juice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody did not get the same batch. They're not all the same. Remembering this is still a trial, right?
Right.
And it's documented. All you can do Google search. There was saline found, Walgreens, CVS. You think that's an accident? Maybe it was. Maybe it was a conspiracy. I don't know, right? So we know everybody didn't get the same thing. We've had news reports of, oopsie, somebody got this. Oopsie, we gave all these people, just saline. So what I would do, and what I did do, for everybody that I personally knew, that I was like, bruh, that ain't it. And then they did it anyway. In my mind, I just envisioned that they got the saline version. I'm not waiting for them to experience any negative side effects. Now, let me rephrase that. Direct effects. So they ain't no side effects. They direct effects. I'm not waiting for them to experience any of that to say, see, told you. Right? I don't get any benefit from that. Now, some people been talking shit, right? I got their number too. So now for those, hey, told your ass is the energy that they get. Yeah. But for the rest of the folks, that's what I put out there. Now, if I do know, like I said, like my father, things come up and people are experiencing things, then I approach it as I approach anything else. So quick little story. I've been sitting across the street from my desk. They've been building houses, right? So it was this blank slate. And I was trying to damn, okay, let me see. How they gonna set this up? Right? I'm trying to get in the mind of the developer. Would they outline, have the house face this way? And then maybe, you can put some rows here. Maybe there'll be some grass here. And I'm watching them as they slowly throughout the year, they put a little, stakes here. I saw them lay the asphalt. Okay, we got a road there. And I just could not figure out how they was going to lay it. And as it started coming together, I was like, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. Okay, maybe they're going to do. But the way it is now, I couldn't envision that, right? So I was like, that's interesting. That's one, right? That's just make a note there. Then I was watching on Instagram a lot of the beauticians that's been posting pictures. We can talk about these ladies. All these women talking about y'all got hair under these wigs. These damn beauticians telling another story. But we'll come back to that. So, I
coming back to that.
I will watch their before pictures, right? And I'd be like, damn, how's she gonna fix that? She takes the wig off, she takes the weave off, and it's like a gap bald spot here, bald spot, a little string here. I'm like, damn, what? And I'm trying to get into the mind of her, right? Because all I can see is what it is. And then I swipe and I be like, damn, she good. She good. I couldn't have seen that. And then one day it hit me. That's my gift. My gift is I can see people with the blank slate. I can see people with the jacked upness, and I don't actually see that. I see the finished version. I see who they truly are. I don't see illness. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I see you in your perfection, in your true divine design. And so it don't matter what diagnosis you say. I don't care. Well, what's a name? A disease name is something man came up with. And then they try to throw some little symptoms under there. They done told you guys that the Roro, I call it Cororo, pneumonia, bronchitis, and all the different variants. What we call those? Whatever, right?
The Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. All of them got the same symptoms. You don't find that strange? Or at least intriguing, just a little bit.
Right.
So when I'm really approaching a person or working with anybody, it's always like, bro, well, let's get it. Yeah, I know, but then they said, I don't care. Well, I've been dealing with this for 5 years. I don't care. It doesn't matter. What does that have to do with anything? Seeing a person as they truly are, I was like, man, this is the gift. This is what love is really all about that I learned. I went through a period where I said it to myself. I didn't say it to anybody else. I really don't know what love is. I know I say it, but I don't really know what it is to actually love a person. And now when I can see that person in their perfection, I'm like, that's love. That's love. Think on it. Think on it.
That's deep.
Oh, it is. And that's what I gauge now. Like, I don't use it loosely. And I come back to that transition because death trips up a lot of people. So I've had deaths throughout the last 2 years now. My grandmother passed right before everything popped off. I was like, Granny was like, I'm out of here. I'm about to dip. I haven't cried. I don't know whether, because everything had rolled out for the seniors in December of 2020. So I don't know. I don't know if she got whatever, and I haven't pried to see, but I could feel her weariness. I could feel she was tired. And she had some, digestive things she had been dealing with off and on throughout the past few years, but she was 94 years old. And I could just feel she was tired and she was ready to go. And so going back to this love thing, me seeing her in her perfection, there was no true love is freeing. It's not binding. It's not restricting. It's not holding on to a thing. So I respected her readiness to transition. And I sent her good graces. I got the call. And by the time that I got, and I could feel it when she left. I did. Now, by the time I got there, they had her on so many meds. She was technically still alive, but I knew she was gone. And I just sent her, good graces, even before I left, like, ball out, Granny. Like, the time is here, and I respect that. And I think this is why I don't like funerals. I don't like the way the way we approach funerals, because it should be honoring, and it should be, I know it's tough. We still human. There's a physical connection there, but we should honor that process. I think a lot of people drag along, suffering for those around them, that they are ready to go long before they officially finally throw in the towel. Because my sister, who lives closer, she said she went to visit her and she just kept saying, I'm sorry. almost feeling as though there was some guilt that she was ready to just surrender to this thing. Like, that's it. And the same thing with one of my aunts, which she's been dealing with a lot of things for a long time. So, and then you start adding in all of this new stuff, and you just, it's a recipe for disaster. Like, if you already on the edge, and then you start taking one shot, and you take another, and then you take another, at some point the body hits its breaking point. Yeah. But beyond that, I still remember the soul there. And I just respect, this is an in and out game. In and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And if I truly love you, I respect where you are when that time comes, even if it appears to be traumatic, even if it appears to be, and I use the word sometimes premature, but is it really?
What is this in and out thing you speaking of? I'm not following that.
This physical experience, we as spiritual beings, we just in and out. You're in 1 minute, you're out the other. In 1 minute, out the other.
You're talking about the incarnations.
Right. If you want to frame it that way. Mm-hmm. I'm still exploring the theory. I don't know if it's a matter of you, right? You leaving the body and you coming back as you. It's still energy, and what your soul is just the energetic imprint of who you are. Your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, that goes back into the ether. And if that returns, does it really mean you returned or that energetic imprint returned? Which would make sense when we have children who are, 6 years old, 5 years old, and they start telling, like, I remember when I worked at the shipyard, and their parents are like, what? I remember, and I don't know if you saw the little clip that was floating around with Drake's son, which I thought was interesting. He was speaking to him in French.
Right.
Like, yo, when I get old, you gonna die, you going back to the universe.
Yeah.
And these children are coming in, remembering that the energy is shifting on this planet. The consciousness is shifting. So we thinking kids just talking like foolishness.
Right.
But there are no young, there is no young soul.
Right.
You looking at that child, that soul is still a soul. Like, that soul is not 4.
Right. Right.
That soul is not 5. So keeping that in mind frees you, in my opinion, from this fear. This is why most people got tripped up these past 2 years. There's a fear of death. Why? It's gonna happen either way. Mm-hmm. Like, why is the fear there? And then when I understand that there is no death, there's just a transitioning, I don't trip anyway.
Right.
I just don't trip, because now, man, my connection to you is heightened, because you all in your spirit bag now. So it's just a matter of, yo, what's up? There is nothing in the physical that's blocking our interactions. So understanding gives you great peace.
Right.
That's all I can say. Understanding gives you great peace. So as I've watched everything unfold, it wasn't that I was just crazy. Well, maybe slightly, but but mostly I just have an impeccable understanding of how things work. And right. So I don't trip. And that could have been anybody, even in my experience, things could happen, and things have happened to some degree. I don't trip.
Right. On the physical plane, there's these things called ventilators. And then there's stats coming out, and they say, hey, people have died because of the bug in the hospital, and I always point that out to people. I say, in the hospital. This is where people are dying, in the hospital. Hey, is it true that the ventilator is counterproductive to the healing of some people who could have been saved? Because I know there's some people, they put the ventilator on and it's just for their last moments, family can stay with them. But am I headed in the right direction with that?
Yeah, and what happened was, I can't remember the doctor that spoke out about this early on, because he made a couple of videos and then I ain't seen his ass since. So I don't know. He was working in the emergency room, and he was kind of sounding the alarm that it wasn't a matter of actually people needing ventilation. It was the protocol. So the protocol was folks come in and you get these drugs and you get put on a ventilator. And he was saying that he was noticing that this was causing worsening cases. Like folks, yes, they might have already had some symptoms, but once they got on those ventilators, it all went downhill. So I like that you said in the hospital, because I just asked somebody that the other day, how many people do you know? This was deadly, right? This is airborne, it's everywhere. The invisible enemy. How many people do you know, for folks who know people that have passed, how many have them passed? How many do you know have passed not in the hospital?
Right.
Now, and I'm not talking since they got the jab.
Right.
Because you can get that and come home and have a stroke. So, or allegedly. So how many people? And listen, I was about to go into like, okay, I've talked to nurses. But even if I hadn't, I want people to start, like, common sense, people. Start tapping into your common sense. You shouldn't have to wait for 2 years to pass. You shouldn't have to wait for evidence to come. I remember hearing you say this a long time ago. I don't know why it stuck with me. I don't even know what it was in reference to, but it was something about foresight. And it just stuck with me like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But foresight, people, like, tap into your own inner wisdom of what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And I'm going to just call it what I know. And there have been people who've been able to corroborate this. Folks straight up getting they're getting their transitioning papers in that hospital. Okay.
Right.
That fact, it is not a speculation, it is a fact. And people have been killed. I'm just telling you, and it's legal. You can get away with it. It is hard to prove. And as long as you have any illness, as long as they can classify your condition with a name, it will always be blamed on that. And I have spoken to a nurse that was like, Rook, man, I think we killed some people today. She was like, I was remembering what you said. I was like, damn, I don't know why we doing this. I don't think we should be giving them no more of this. And she was like, I came back on my next cycle and they was out of here. So a lot of people have gone into these hospitals, didn't come out not because they couldn't, because they were injured.
Right.
And there's two types of injuries that have been taking place: physical injury and emotional injury.
Okay.
So if you got a protocol that says immediately when you come in here, you take this test. If you test positive, hell, it don't even matter if you came in there with a broke leg.
Right.
Like, we put you in that unit.
Yeah.
You automatically move to that unit. No, some of this has shifted as time has gone on, but initially, this was the protocol. So now you go to the death ward. That's what I call it. Everybody in there wrapped up like the play, like it's a movie scene. So don't nobody want to touch you, right?
Yeah.
The nurses, doctors lost all sense of humanity.
Yeah.
So they talking to you, you way over there, you are isolated. And the moment that you start, let's say you've already had minor symptoms, they're going to introduce some immunosuppressant drugs. What the hell does that say? Immune suppressant. Immune suppressants. So you already had some symptoms. Now we're going to suppress our immune system. Now the symptoms increase, or you start to express different symptoms. Now it's getting more serious. But they will put these people in these rooms, isolated, cannot talk to anybody. Nobody is having direct human experiences or exchanges with them. And you just left in there, beep, 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 just listening. Then you have a case where, the doctors will come in and say, well, this is looking bad. If this continues to get worse, we're going to have to put you on a ventilator. You can't talk to nobody. So where you could talk to your mom or your significant other, they would kind of, keep you calm. The mind now is wandering. And remember what our attention on. Our attention is our power. So now we just powering our fears. Okay, damn, maybe this is the big one. Maybe this is as bad as they say it is. Oh, shoot. Man, I ain't feel my back hurting before, but it's really hurting now. I think I'm getting worse. I can't breathe. I can't. This is how this shit goes. This is what happens. Like, people spin themselves into this psychological breakdown.
Yeah.
And if someone would simply have just a little bit of sense and say, listen, you all right.
Yeah.
All right, listen. You know what I mean? Just stay calm. We're going to keep you hydrated. We're going to allow your body to do what it needs to do. But you add all those components together, and then you add the ventilators. And people don't understand that there are chemicals that are used with the ventilators.
Okay.
So, including, is it fentanyl?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what has to happen for you to have any symptoms at all? What has to happen to a body for you to begin to express symptoms? What has to happen is the body has to already be in a weakened state. The body is saying that there is something we need to address on the inside. There is weakness, there is disharmony, there is a blockage of flow, and we are attending to it. Anytime you have symptoms, that's all they're saying. So with that in mind, if that is already condition of the body, you go to the hospital and you take drugs that weaken your body's natural ability to handle this, because you came equipped. Body knows what to do. So now you weaken that, but further toxify the body, because you got to hit it hard. One of the main drugs, the remdesivir. Okay. So this shit is so toxic. I mean, you can look it up. Like, it comes right up on Google. So it gets it get real when you can Google a thing and it pop right up. Like, you ain't even got to go scrolling through it. It just pops right up. So it tells you it inhibits respiratory function. So it weakens respiratory function. You are giving someone a drug who already has a weakened respiratory system, a drug that weakens the respiratory function. Destroys liver function, destroys kidney function. So when you give me these little raggedy ass numbers talking about people dying of what? From what?
Right.
I don't know. Right. And now that we have the vacation in mix, you see things that say, well, those on vacation, yeah, they're the ones that's flooding the hospitals. Well, I don't know who you're talking about when you say that, because if you haven't had any jabby, you fall in that category. If you've only had one, you fall in that category. If you've only had two, but it hasn't been more than 14 days, you still fall in that category. So who are you talking about? That's a wide range of people right there.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you alter. This is how you manipulate the numbers. And this is how now you see the narrative is shifting. Like, yeah, we're going to go back and look at the numbers. We want to see if the people who actually, did they have, were they in a hospital because of, or would they just have, the vid? It's a game, is what I'm trying to tell people. Is this all a game that, I'm a life student, so I can't help but be pretty impressed. It's a hell of a it's a hell of an undertaking. This was worldwide. I mean, this was pretty damn impressive. And when people say they, right, the man, the system, the elitists, the
lizard people,
right, right, like the powers that be.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. There is no power that be that is greater than the power of thee.
Hotep.
For the record, let me just say that. But let's go along and play along with that theory for a second. We still talking about human beings.
Right.
See, I don't care how much you plan a thing, you can come together. We know you got the money, you have the ability to influence certain things, but you are not infallible. And you're still dealing with humans. And I don't care if you are wealthy, upper class, middle class, lower class, humans are still humans. So the idea that people can come together and plan things to a T, and there's no room for error, come on, man. And that's the difference between me and most people. Most people see the strength in the system. I see the vulnerabilities. That's what I keep my attention on. The idea that they are like, well, it don't matter what we do, it don't matter, and then those who come out against it, they just gonna take them out, So what are you saying? Yeah. You're saying you just screwed.
Yeah.
So you should just, put your tail between your legs and just go home. Eat you some bonbons. I mean, just the words that we say, being mindful of the things that we say, we can understand the game of the matrix and what happens in this physical realm, but you never give your power away to that, ever.
Right.
Like, your belief is everything. And I think there was a wise man that said, the only thing I have to defeat is my own self-doubt. Then I step in, and then my world becomes
limitless.
Limitless. I think that was a great Hotep Jesus that said that.
Hotep.
Absolutely. I want to come back to the beautician's point, but really fast. I want to ask you this other question. What is the common thread you see between the people that come to you for help, for healing help? Is there something common between all of them? Is it all mindset, or is it physical, or?
Well, two things. So on the physical side, people are tired and they're frustrated, they're in pain, and they want relief. That's the commonality. On the non-physical side, even if they ain't all the way sold, the one thing that every last one of them have is they believe in the possibility. Even if they ain't fully like, okay, then this gonna change everything, but they believe in the possibility. And that's all we need. That's all we need, a belief in what's possible. Anyone who is locked to, and I got so many examples just when it comes to family, one of my aunts was like, I was like, listen, auntie, real talk, we can get your blood sugar down, listen, 30 days. Like, let's stop playing with this. You go ahead and just get rid of this. You don't need no drugs. Type 2, lifestyle. You brought it on, you bring it off, you get rid of it. It's just, you created it, destroy it, walk it back, same thing. She was like, okay, well, what I need to do? Or the first thing we got to do, number one, we always address diet first. Oh, well, I don't know about that now. I don't know about that now. Okay. And I just said, okay.
Yeah.
But the option is there.
Right.
But when folks have hit the point to where they're ready and they come to me, they've drawn a line in the sand. Right? I've been trying this. I done tried that. I done tried this. Maybe this is possible for me. Maybe I could do it. Maybe I could reverse this. Maybe I could walk this back. Maybe I could too. They got that.
Optimism.
Yep. Just the belief. That belief is enough to carry them. It's enough to open the door.
Okay, let's talk about the Beauticians now. What do you want to express about the Beauticians?
First of all, to ladies in general.
Okay.
In the words of Oda Mae Brown.
Who?
Molly? Oda Mae Brown.
Who that?
You don't remember Ghost? The movie Ghost?
With Patrick Swayze?
Yeah.
And Whoopi?
Yeah.
I ain't watched that in forever.
Whoopi was Oda Mae Brown. And when she came to tell Patrick Swayze's wife, there was some men after her, she was like, Molly, you in danger, girl. So I'm telling the women, oh, you in danger, girl. You in danger. And where do we even start? Where do we even start with women think they got shit figured out? And I like it because I used to think so too.
Okay.
I used to think so too. And we connect with other women that will feed, right, that feeling. And we feel like black girl magic. I'm in my bag. But you know what else is in that bag? Your hair falling out. You know what else is in that bag? You're hugging the wine bottle every night. What else is in that bag? A bunch of antidepressants. A bunch of fibroids in your wombs, endometriosis, not able to produce children. So what that translates to is, say it together, say it to yourself, I am out of order. That's what that translates to.
I'm out of order.
Disharmony. Yep, I'm out of order.
Okay.
There's disharmony. And so, again, I have heard women say, and granted, we know it ain't everybody. It ain't never everybody. There's always exceptions. But we hear like, I wear my wig all the time to protect my hair. From what? What you protect me from? What you got to? What's threatening its livelihood? What's going on?
It's a protective hairstyle.
But the scalp is like any part of the body. It needs to breathe.
Okay.
It needs fresh air. The sun needs to hit the scalp. Like you need that. And as we're living more and more stressful lives, and as we are in this battle, this pretend battle, because we losing if we get technical about it, but this pretend battle with men, you can't hate a man without hating yourself, because you came from a man, and you can't come from something that you are not. It's like saying you come from God, but you're not. How does that work? Can an apple tree produce an orange? Oh, okay, that's what I thought. So when the energy behind you saying and riding with other unstable women with the rah, the man, this and that, you are creating disharmony within your own system. And it's being expressed through these symptoms. So all of this that I hear, I have never, and I grew up in the creamy crack era. I was perming my hair every 2 months.
Right.
Then when they had it just for me in the box that you could get from CVS, I was like, shit, I might could get away with maybe 5 weeks. Let me see if I just do a little bit. Let me see if my hair fall out. Like, so, and I ain't never, with all of those chemicals, never seen women hair look the way they look now. I ain't never seen, like these pictures that these beauticians are posting. I don't know if you've seen them. This shit is crazy.
I've seen a couple. I know what you're talking about.
What's
that from?
Well, it's a couple things. So some of the beauticians go hard on the tracks and the wigs. And that is true to some extent, right? Okay. So the tension. First of all, who the hell told y'all to put glue? Why are you... That's just the crazy... Why are you gluing a mat to your head? Why, God? Why? Who came? Somebody need to ask what. I need answers, people. And I'm for people living the way that they want to live and do what you want to do, baby. I'm all about it. Yeah. But at some point, you have to ask, what am I doing? And anything that I put on my skin is absorbed. It's absorbed into my bloodstream. Okay. So I don't know what the hell is in. I just seen I didn't even know they was applying that much. I thought it was maybe like just enough to, but I was like, damn, they slathered that on. I'm like, how long does it stay? Like, some of the pictures that I've seen, this one lady, she said when she was walking through taking this one lady's wig off, and it was like matted underneath. So there is some coming from, there's just too much. Like there has to be a break. You have to give your hair a break. You have to give your scalp a break. You got to wash your damn hair, your real hair, still real hair under there. So some does come from miscare, right? So that is part of it, just the tension, because a lot of them that I've seen is right around the crown. That's where it starts. And that's where that wig goes, right?
Right.
But let's put that to a side for just a moment.
Okay.
What about before women even get to the point to where they feel like they need to bring in some tracks or some weaves or whatever? What is happening with the hair before they get to that point? Because usually it's like, well, my hair is thinning and I want to make it thicker, or I'm losing my edges, or, in the middle spot is thinning. What's happening there? Because the wig, certainly you add that to it, it's going to make it worse.
Right.
But what got them there? And it comes back to your health. It comes back to, first, it could be several things. Circulation. Right? You got to have proper circulation in the head. Women love, they get behind, what's the trifling ass organization? Planned Parenthood.
Okay. So
women love birth control. Birth control is some of the most toxic shit that you can put in your body. Toxic. It is an endocrine disruptor. It will wreak havoc on your thyroid. And weaken thyroid function, you're gonna lose your hair. You're gonna start seeing it thin. So, but it disrupts so much more than that, right? So we talk about that. It disrupts your digestive function, your ability to absorb nutrition. So sometimes it can be a nutrient issue. There's a lot of little, what's some things people selling now, the little oils that you can put drops on it, and that's fine, you can do that. And what a lot of that has, herbs that is good for circulation. It's antimicrobial. So it'll help clear out excess bacterial activity there. But why? See, the bacteria shows up because there's an excess of acids in that area, right? So what's going on in your head where there's not proper flow is what we have to ask, and it all comes back to health. But number one, this is the big one: stress. Yeah, absolutely. Because stress gonna walk you down the door to inflammation, and inflammation, staying in a state of inflammation, you stay inflamed. Just think of what the word means. Right. You are inflamed on the inside.
Yeah, you burning up.
Right, and you start to see basic things. Everybody want to go and get a number, and I'm not against blood test or whatever, but there are some basic things that you can start to do. Look at your hair, look at your fingernails, look at your eyes, look at your tongue. These give you a really good indication of where the integrity of your tissues and cells are. And most of us live reckless, or a lot of us I should say, and we are stressed, overly stressed. Half of us, we stressed by 9 o'clock because we done logged in and seen something like, what? I know he didn't. What? And then they got to send it to their group chat, right? And then they going to go back and forth with that all day. Boom, 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 boom. That's dis-ease. You got to put yourself back in a state of ease. And like I said, I've never seen, even when we were hard on the chemicals, I've never seen women's hair fall out like it is now. And we weren't on no health tip then either, not when it came to diet. Right. So we know it's so much as lifestyle. How we're living is just simply out of order, and we're not spiritually in tune. And that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. Everything else we do just adds on top of that.
Right. Cannon Hotep, he says she's hitting home. My pops had no immune system and still beat the bug twice because of my understanding. Shout out to Cannon Hotep. Cassius Can said casinos open, churches is closed. Liquor stores open. AA meetings canceled. McDonald's open, gyms closed. Black Friday on, Thanksgiving off. Health. Woo. Cassius came on fire today. Brian Knowles, thank you. He said it's not just black positivity, it should be American positivity. I'm biracial. And all I care about is my American brothers and sisters. We are all standing up. We are Americans, arm in arm.
I'm with it.
Okay, so segue real fast, and I want to come back to Fauci and them jokers and the Frankie Delta Alpha. So the other day I tweeted something about God being a woman. And then I explained, my take on it, that we all start off as a woman in the womb. And usually on YouTube, my comments, it's just, when people comment, it's a couple of sentences here, a line there, a line here. But I got 2 book reports from 2 people.
I'm assuming they were men.
Man. What is going on? And because first of all, like, obviously, and then I had another dude, he was like, God doesn't have a gender, and he sent me an article, and I'm like, yo, you really had to send me an article to come up with this? I know this. Like, come on, like, I'm having fun with language.
Right.
Like, are we allowed to do that? Are we allowed to have fun with language? If you're allowed to refer to God as a he, can I refer to her as a she? Right? So, dudes are like, oh, it's a he, it's a he, it's a he, and I'm like, you must be homo. Because when I die, I don't want to see balls. I want to see breasts. Okay? I want to see a beautiful woman. I don't want to see a cock party. I don't want to see a mustache. I don't want to see a beard. I want to see a beautiful woman when I die. I'm not gay. Okay? What is going on with the insecurity of these people? Even some women, the insecurity of these people that when you refer to God as a she, that they have a problem.
That's that attachment. That's that unwillingness to let go. I mean, I used to be the same way, to be honest. I was a Jesus roller now. My father. I'm about my father's business. But it's interesting how we connect with things and we create an identity with those things. And so when it becomes challenged, it's like, whoa, too far. I remember listening to, I don't know if we talked about this before, but listening to Oprah. I don't know who she was interviewing at the time, but it was just talking about spirituality and how all things are connected. Like, you look outside and God is the tree and God is the butterfly and God is the sun. And I was like, blasphemy. What is this lady talking about?
Yeah.
She leading these people to hell. Right? Because that's where my mind was, right? That was my mindset at the time.
Yeah.
That this is my story. This is the truth. And you must not present anything that's counter to that.
Right.
Because it makes me question who I am. Because that's what it really comes down to. Because when you really like solid in what it is that you're doing and what it is that you believe, what does it even matter? If the truth can stand for itself. It really don't need you to defend it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So why do you feel the need to be Captain Saberhole when you see a perspective presented that is contrary to yours?
Right.
This is what I'm always talking about, knowledge of self. You got to know what your triggers are. You got to know that. You got to know what you get off on, what like gets under your skin, what gets you going, what motivates you, what paralyzes you, what makes you afraid. You got to know this better than anybody else, because if I can trip you up just by saying one word, you my bitch now.
Hotep.
Yeah, you better believe that. And this is what even with, Black folks, same thing applies. I know, I get it, I understand. But if a man can still bring you to your knees by just saying a word, ooh.
Who's really in control?
Who's really in control?
Right.
Because no one man should have all that power.
Right.
No, it just shouldn't. And and that goes for anything in this, weak ass, offended ass, soft ass society. Everybody, what did you say? You just fat phobic? Because if you really was proud of being fat, nobody could shame you.
Right.
You wear it with a badge of honor.
Right.
Because a true hoe, you can't shame. You can't do no hoe shaming to no true hoe.
Cardi, that's facts. You ain't shaming Cardi B. Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, come on. So if you really was standing 10 toes down on what you say you believe in, you wouldn't be moved one way or the other. But what it shows is that you ain't as solid in that thing as you say you are. Aha. Expose them. I love it. I love exposure. I love when life punched me in the chin. I love it. Because I need to know that. Like, I need to know. I talk my shit because I can back it up. However, whenever there's a moment that I allow my mouth to get a little bit further than my belief system can back up, life come through with a chin check.
Right.
Like, not quite, sister. Not quite.
Yeah, you ain't there yet.
Not quite. And I love that because I need to know where I am more than anything else. I need to know. This is why, like, when we talk about the pandemic, right? That's what I call it. You can call it whatever you like. I just lost my thought.
You said you was talking about the pandemic.
What was we talking about before that?
We was talking about just being in the truth. Like, I was talking about how people, you get triggered because I said, what man is a God is a she, and people, if you really believe in what you said you believed in, you be sturdy. Nobody be able to trigger you. Then we was talking about, knowing your triggers and knowing yourself, right?
Right. And I think this is what has been so good about these, past 2 years. I would never co-sign any of the tomfoolery that has gone on, right? Ever. Out of order, unlawful, all of that. However, remember, we take what is offered and use it. You having to be to yourself, you having to be in your home, right? Let's just say tomorrow the internet goes out. The phones go out. We have no ability to communicate with anybody outside our in our direct space. What you gonna do? Can you survive? Like, do you have the ability to adapt? And this is what, in my opinion, this moment has offered to us a challenge to ourselves. Are you as strong as you think you are? Are you as capable as you think you are? Can you survive no matter what? And that should be a yes. If not, you should welcome any opportunity that exposes that you are not, so you can get to work on that. You can dive into that a little bit. What is it within me? Because there got to be a program running that says I got to be connected to somebody to feel important, to feel validated, to feel special. And I think this is where women are going down this dangerous path of following other stupid ass women who they see online. And because it gives them the illusion. I just finished a podcast today talking about, the title was Black Excellence Can't Save Your Raggedy Ass. Right?
Hotep.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Actually, I'm not. But this idea that you can put a stamp on something and now you're going to hop on the bandwagon. See, it ain't about Black excellence. It's about your own inner excellence. What you doing, what you got going on. And what has Black excellence done for you lately, other than make you feel good? It feel good. Listen, I'm human. It feel good to see people excelling. It does. It feel good. We got what we wanted, right? We wanted to see more people here. We got faces here. We at the table, because that's what they said they wanted, right?
Right.
So where you at? What has it done for you lately? Is it helping? Which one of your Black excellent candidates have hit you to the game? Which one of them have spoke life to you? Which one of them throughout these past 2 years have made you feel inspired and hopeful for the future? Which one of them had you putting your phone down for the day like, damn, boy, it's all right. Life is good.
Yeah.
Which one? So tell me what Black excellence doing for you, because it looks like it gets you worked up. Looks like it keep you stressed out. Look like it keep you worried. Look like you can't even compliment like Black excellence. Well, here go the white man messing it up, trying to take credit. You can't even just stay you can't even give full credit without bringing something else into the equation. So it's an illusion is what it is. It's just like Robinette dementia ass, right? Who
Robinette?
Robinette, come on. You know that's POTUS's middle name.
Oh, yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yes.
That's what I call him. That's what I call him.
I forgot that was his middle name. They said that on the radio the other day. Right.
Right. So we had Black excellence telling us this is the way.
Yeah.
You ain't Black if you don't come over here with us. This is what they told us. We got Black excellence right now. I'm keeping a document of every last one of them. I'm calling everybody ass out. When the top blow, I'm telling you, every Black excellent and Black girl magic who have been pushing these toxic ass drugs, especially on children, those are the ones I really got a problem with. That's Black excellence? Really? Nah, I don't want none of that. See, the culture gonna get you fucked up. And we have a blind allegiance to things that are making us ill, and then we are confused about why we're ill. This idea that all of your troubles is either the white man, the rich man, or white supremacy. That's it. Ain't nothing that you ain't in there nowhere. Not a little bit. Damn. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I mean, no wonder your life sucks. And it's going to continue to suck. And I just want to, I don't like to give warnings, right? I don't like the energy behind saying I'm warning you.
Yeah.
Just an advisement, right?
Some advisory, okay.
If these last 2 years jacks you up and you still ain't got right, you unprepared for what's coming. Because if you think for 1 second that this is over, if you think, my God, it's the gift that keeps on giving. If you can convince people that something that keeps them alive is making them sick, it's a gold mine. It's a gold mine. Because that's what science says. Science says there's over 38 trillion microorganisms in my body. Science says there's over 380 trillion. I don't even know how you count that, but hey, viruses in the body. So you mean to tell me you done isolated the one that's about to clear out humanity? My God, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. So when you step out of the house, this idea of freedom, man, are you really free? Well, you can't even go outside and breathe.
Right.
You scared. You call that free?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know how that works, but maybe.
John Hopkins study says antibodies detected up to 21 months with natural immunity. You were an advocate of natural immunity before, right?
Yes and no.
Okay. Explain that. Well, why is it yes and no?
First, I go back to how can you be immune against something that doesn't exist? So
you first have to believe in to be immune
I don't know how you create an immunity against that, but mine is also you, sir. So let's go with what I would define natural immunity as is your body's own natural ability to handle anything that it encounters.
Okay.
So your own body's ability to filter, to break down, and to move out whatever doesn't need to be there. Okay. So that I absolutely believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe that.
I see what you're saying with the terminology of natural immunity. It's kind of like an oxymoron.
Right.
Right.
Right. And I don't walk around saying, I guess I would have to get it. Like, how do you even know you got it? The tests are faulty. The shit is insanity. I struggle with this conversation. How you know you got it? Got what? What you got?
Yeah.
They told you. Even the World Health Organization came out and said, well, we can't have these tests as a gold standard. We need to look at the whole picture because, even the damn insert said it. That a positive does not mean that there has been demonstrated the presence of, it could be anything. It could be any microbe. For the record, a virus is not a microbe anyway, because it's not a living thing. So I don't know how they say they find it in water. What is it living in? In the bacteria? You're just making shit up as you go. It drives me nuts, man. Like, and if people don't figure out how to unlock, it's a lock on our minds.
Yeah.
That you gotta, it's a program. I'm gonna tell you one, I have learned so much from Dr. Robert Morris. And one thing, just going through working with
Robert Morris or Malone?
Morris.
Okay.
Yeah, naturopath.
Okay.
And one thing, as I've gone through, a lot of his materials, his programs, one thing he would say early on, and I used to kind of chuckle because I like studying and reading. He was like, you need to stop reading. I'd be like, huh? He said, listen, you need to stop reading because what you're doing is you're taking on everybody else's perspective. You're taking on everything, and you now, right? You become separated from the true source. People be like, Rook, what's your source? My source is source, Nick. That's my source.
Hotep.
Well, my source is talking to me, talking no shit to me.
They quick to say that on Twitter.
Yeah, like, and let me say this to you too. If you see something on the internet, if you see something on Twitter, and you got your damn device in your hand, and you can't just swipe open your internet browser. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to do that. I know on the iPhone, you can just tap and highlight and say, look up, it'll take you straight to the web.
Right.
If you ain't got the wherewithal to do that, you deserve whatever your ass get.
Uh-huh.
Can you provide a link? No. No, I cannot, you lazy ass. You don't deserve anything you're unwilling to pursue.
You don't deserve anything you're willing to pursue. You're not
unwilling.
You're unwilling to. Oh my God.
Hotep.
You don't deserve it. So you stay right there in your ignorance. Just ignore your ass. Well, you should be here to educate people. You shouldn't look like you're soft and you're weak and you're disgusting and you're not gonna make it. See, this is what people need. Y'all mamas, I don't know. I love mamas. I'm a mama. I love mamas. And I'm gonna tell you one thing I messed up at I erred as a mother. I was so hell bent on not doing things the way my mother did that I overcorrected. So yes, you wanted better. You want to do things better. You want to fill the gaps, right? But there are some key foundational things that we have gotten from our folks that's worth passing on. And our kids, we talk about how soft our kids are. Well, where did it come from? Who taught them? I remind my daughter that all the time when she, she'll say certain things. And she was like, well, Mom, I'm saying, but you my mama. I said, you right. I said, in the first 10 years of your life, I was a dumbass. So I got to give you a pass right now. I gotta give a little bit of, yeah, okay. Some of that residue might still be there. All right, that's fair.
Yeah, absolutely. I having 3 generations of kids, or 3, because I got the daughter, she's 18, the boys are 12, and then I got the new one now who's 13 months. I see, like, with every child I get better. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know
are you getting better or are you getting softer?
It's a tough question.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the little one, I'm definitely soft.
Yeah.
I'm definitely soft. She a girl and she's just so cute.
Yeah, I mean, because, and I wonder, you know, I often get in conversations about parenting, and I'll tell people, listen, I'm not authorized to speak on certain things. Like, I gotta, I'm working on this book about my experience as a young mother, right? But it really is not even about, it's really about how I ultimately found myself through painful experiences. I thought it was going to be about how to pick better partners. That's what I thought it was going to be about, but I let that go. I let it go. You know what I mean? That's not the message, right? Yeah. I thought I was waiting to tell that because I was going to hop on that bullhorn, but no, that's not the message. It was much deeper than that, right? But so I have ideas about what I think is necessary, what is not necessary, things that I think that I would do differently. But unless I had another child to actually put that into practice, it's all speculation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just speculation.
Yeah.
It's easy to talk it. It's easy to say it. It's just like everyone who had criticisms or 2 cents to give me when I was raising my daughter, who are now parents. I be like, look at you. Yeah. Look at it's different now, ain't it? Yeah, I wouldn't a lot. I would do. You look at you, ain't doing nothing.
Real talk. That's big. All right, quick question. If we were able to get Dr. Fauci in front of him, what would you say to Dr. Fauci? What message would you give him? And let's say this was broadcast. Let's say it's a private conversation. Is there anything you would want to say to him?
Nope.
Nothing.
I don't even know if that man human. These days, man, I'm just saying you can never be sure.
You never sure.
No, because it'll almost be like, I mean, what is there to say?
Right.
Like, this cat is who he is. It's like the story of the scorpion and the frog. You know, the frog like, bruh. Now the scorpion like, listen, let me take me on across these pies. And the frog like, nah, bruh. I know how you get down. You're gonna sting me, bro. Why would I do that when you helping me out? So the frog lets him. And sure enough, the scorpion sting that ass. Like, what do you do, man? Now we both gonna die. He said, I'm just a scorpion. Nah, that's who I am. Like, you mad at me, and this is perfect segue into, as everything starts to unfold. I don't know if people have been following what has been happening with the Freedom of Information Act requests that has been made by some lawyers through the FDA. So here's the spin. They approved, right, on paper, the Dizer vacation, right?
Yeah.
However, the approved version is not on the market. However, there has to be safety data that they use in order to approve it.
Okay. So
the lawyers are saying the public has a right to see, bro, we talking over 200,000 pages. I don't even know how you even, like, mentally, that's hard to even wrap my mind around.
Yeah.
So these jokers, the FDA said, listen here, we're going to need about 55 years. No, I'm sorry, 75 years. First they said 55, then they increased it to 75. Yeah. 75 years. You know, nobody finds that strange. Because y'all was able, warp speed. Warp speed had us in this baby like, boom, give us a couple months, we're going to be able to swing this out. The judge said, nah, bro. The courts was like, nah, right? We're going to need the first 12,000 plus paper documents released by January 31st. Thereafter, 55,000 pages a month until it's all submitted. Of course, they waited to the 11th hour. So they waited to like January 26th to file a motion to say, well, you know, we really just we're not able to get these out, and we're going to need Dizer's help to help redact some of their proprietary information. long story short, came out today. They're now going to get until the 1st of March to release the first 10,000. And then it'll be like, 30,000, 55,000, whatever after that. All we're doing is buying time. That's all they're doing. You can keep things caught up in the court on and on. You can do filings, motions, on and on. And the question is, what continues to happen as we wait? What continues to happen? Now, granted, I don't know what more a lot of people need to see, but a lot of people aren't seeing. I guess that's the biggest thing. So if we could actually have the documents that say, yo, something in the milk ain't clean. Something hasn't been adding up, but the spin with trying to push the approval for the children, God bless the babies, man. I be wondering, like, is the real zombie apocalypse are going to be all of these children that come back and just be like, we're taking all of you out. you all the adults. So you can't get full liability protection for an approved vacation unless it has also been approved for children. So once they get this clearance for children, boom. Now, matter of fact, where's your boy at? Because did we get an obligatory shot picture or what? What's his name?
Trump?
No, Lupe.
Oh.
What the hell is he at? Is he still saying the same thing? Has he changed his tune?
Yes. Somebody asked me to bring him back on again and see what's his, has he changed his tune?
I want to see the shot in the arm. But then again, we still don't know what's in there, so that don't really matter either. But so this is the game of what we are seeing. And I'm wondering, I think we're going to have 3 categories that end up happening, right? 3 categories of folks. One, some people riding this till the wheels fall off. And even once the wheels fall off, they still riding on the metal, right? Yeah. It don't matter what come out. They're going to find an excuse for it. It's like, Robinette not being able to walk without being assisted. People got excuses for it. They can justify it. It makes sense, like whatever. So I think we'll have one group of folks, when the truth really comes out, they're going to keep full steam ahead. The other group, the second group, I think folks are going to realize the truth and they're going to be furious. Furious. They're going to be angry, especially if they've noticed some issues with their children. That'll get, people will follow a lot of things. When you start messing with their kids, it's going to be a problem. And they're going to be ready for some retribution, right? Yeah. I think the last group, though, I think the denial, I think it's going to be somewhat of a mental meltdown. Like it's going to be such a resisting of the truth that it can't be. Like, oh my God, but I did. And now what? And then, I think, and that's going to spin some folks right up out of here. Like that stress and that mental worry. And I love my alternative folks. And I love that they're giving another narrative to what we're hearing. In the Project Rook Inner Circle, when we walk through all of this, always give the group 3 narratives. So whatever it is that we're talking about, we look at it from the 3 narratives. The first narrative is the mainstream narrative. Okay. This the big one. It's invisible. No matter what you do, leave your groceries outside, spray them down with Lysol, run for your lives, lock in, right? This is it. Don't kiss grandma. You're going to kill her. Put 5 pieces of underwear on your face. That's what they told us at first. You do remember that, right? I hope people remember that they told you could go home, get a damn t-shirt, cut it up and put it over your face. Yeah. Yeah. And now... Anyway, so that's the first narrative, the mainstream narrative. Yeah. The alternative narrative is it does exist, but it's not as bad as they're telling you. And that you have the ability to take some proper precautions and get your body strong, bring in some vitamins, bring in some good nutrition, and you will recover and be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
The in the know narrative, that's what I wrote.
Okay.
In the know say it's all bullshit. That's what the in the know narrative say. It's all bullshit. The Cororo word actually means crown. The word virus means poison. What this has been from the very beginning has been a poisoning of this. And this is all that's needed to make you sick.
Hotep.
This is all that is needed to make you sick. It is why you can have people to go into a good book for people to get into is You Are the Placebo by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Get into his work, especially if you like science. See, I don't need science to confirm jack to me because I know. But I do like it. I get into it. I love the merging of the two worlds. And I'm like, it so-called proves what ancients been doing forever, been knowing forever. Like, okay, cool. Y'all with it now. But get into that book and look at example after example, how you could have a group. You got a control group. You got your placebo group. You tell both groups that they're getting surgery. One group doesn't get it, and they have just as good as results as the other group. How's that possible? How's that possible? And people use the word placebo in a derogatory sense, like, oh, that won't nothing but a placebo effect. But what are you saying? You say that I just with my power of my mind can make a thing so? Ooh, that sounds like power to me. That's what it sounds like to me. And the same thing with, it goes through like example after example of cancer patient, right? Cancer patient is misdiagnosed.
Right.
Never even had it. Still got sick and died. Come to find out, never had it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like in it's one after another after another. It goes through laughter therapy.
Yeah.
How people have been able to simply feel good. This is why you got to make sure above everything, man, you feeling good. When the last time you laughed? Did you laugh today? Do you make it a point to laugh every single day?
Right.
No, I'm talking about woo, like getting into that thing. Keeping yourself in the stream of wellness. There's a stream of wellness. It is always flowing. In you, around you, through you. You put blockages in that. That you do that. So if you are really interested in remaining in a state of wellness, that's what you got to focus on. Where's my attention? Where's my attention? Because I know where my attention is. I know where my thoughts are. Right? If I know what my thoughts are, I'm gonna know what my feelings are. When I know my feelings, that's gonna dictate my mood. And then I stay in that mood long enough, it will define my personality, which is my personal reality. Bing,
Hotep.
Bing bong. This is why you and I can be in the same world. You can be experiencing something completely different than me. And I'd be looking like, damn. Ooh, seems bad. I don't see the things that other people see because I ain't looking for them. I ain't going to my grocery store looking for the prices to go up. I ain't looking for that. Why would I look for what I don't want to see and experience? When you understand the work behind this, you ain't got no time to be talking about stupid shit. You ain't got time to be arguing with people. You get a reminder every time like, oh, okay, I ain't on my game. Throughout the last 2 years, I put on a face diaper 5 times.
Okay.
All right. I had to fly once. Had to take one for the team. It was a family thing, right? 2 times I had to take somebody to the doctor. And I wanted the time and the place to be, whatever.
Arguing, yeah.
Right, yeah. You know what I mean? One was my grandmother. She was on a deathbed and that wasn't the time to whatever. Won't make no big deal about that. And then lastly, I had to take somebody somewhere and who was older, same type thing, right? But outside of that, I've gone where I wanted to go.
Right.
We've had rules and regulations here, or what they call And I've only in any time I've only had a couple times. One time I went into Ross, the guy ran after me like, yo. I was like, what? Where's your, face diaper? I'm not able to wear one. Oh, you can't be in the store. So I left out that store, walked 20 feet to the TJ Maxx next door, got what I wanted, and left. So the only times when I have had like encounters, one time this lady at Walgreens, boy, she was livid. And I didn't even know she was talking to me. I done walked in the store, I got all my little goodies, and I'm walking back, and you know how you just in a zone?
Yeah.
And finally I come to, and I just hear like, and as it gets clear, I'm like, is this someone talking to me? And I mean, she's like, you need to have your so-and-so. And by the time I get in the car, she's starting to pull out. And I never break stride. I get in the car. I was like, damn, I must have been off my game. How was she even in my frequency? How did we even meet? Like, I must have been sleeping on my pimping. That's what I took it as. Like, she shouldn't have been able to see me. I should have been invisible to her. So I was like, damn, bro. Okay, it's time to get back in the house. Get back in the house. You got to regroup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I took this as an opportunity to check myself. Because if I'm really about this game, I should be able to override whatever's going on around me. So anybody that has come, the worst thing that you can do for a person that's not ill is to isolate them. I mean, for a person who is ill, is to isolate them.
Right.
To spread the energy of it ain't just negativity, it's deeper than that. It's fear. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like the fact that grown adults were putting their children in the basement or in rooms and isolating them for 10 days.
Yeah.
That's not child abuse. That's not child abuse. That is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because if let's talk about let's just pretend, right? We talk about it's a deadly thing that you can't see. This thing's so small you can't even see it on a regular microscope. You think just you closing the door? Say it's people are under a spell.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And a spell is simply a narrative. It is something that you continue to replay over in a telling that you recount over and over and over and over again. And something has to jolt you. Something has to agitate you to the point to snap you out of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if that don't happen, no matter what they say, them people they can come out and say whatever. Them people still like, give me 3 of them. Yeah, I need to put 3 on. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Monique, thank you. She said, thank you for another great live. Do either of you all know about DOD data and the 10 times uptick of cancer, neurological issue on military personnel with the vacation? Yeah, we're very familiar with them stats. Demassage. Now, there's a couple of things you said I want to unpack that's just like super powerful. One of them was the kids. We're going to come back to that. But what you just said about the lady in the store and the fact that y'all even had an interaction and you didn't place the blame on her, you placed the blame on yourself, and you said you were slipping in your game. It's very powerful, and I don't want people to allow that to slip by because, something I always tell people is everything in your life is your fault. And when you do that, you give yourself power. And when you say it's something else, you give up your power. But I think the interesting part about your statement is your synchronicity with your timeline, let's just say, the synchronicity with your lifeline.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you left the house a minute too early or a minute too late.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you were supposed to go later, right? Maybe you wasn't supposed to go down the aisle that way. You should have went the other way.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that your synchronicity with your lifeline was off, and that's why you came into contact with this woman in that manner.
Right. And not necessarily that I wasn't supposed to, right? Not like I should have left or I shouldn't have left, because I believe if the encounter happened, it was supposed to happen.
It was supposed
right?
to happen.
It was supposed to happen. And I took it as a spiritual reminder. Check yourself. Where are you? Where are you vibrationally? Because we all, and I had to even, I know a lot of people was asking me to send them stuff and do certain things. And I got to a certain point, I couldn't, like, I'm cutting myself off from all of this nonsense. This is not my world. This is not my reality. I don't want to see nothing else. I don't want to hear nothing else. So I went through a little, it might have been I got to the point where I didn't want to leave the house, right? I would go outside. I'm still going outside, but I don't want to, the gym was tripping at the time. Like, bro, I'm not coming in here with no face diaper on. Kiss my ass.
Yeah.
And then to tell me I can wear it through the hall, but I can take it off once I get in the yoga room. We deep breathing, 95 degrees. You know what I mean? And the manager's like, I was like, does that make any sense? Well, no, I don't know. I don't know. I was like, how about this? Cancel my membership. Well, wait. We can, we'll just put your account on the medical hold. You do whatever you want. All right. Let me know when this crap, you done playing stupid. All right. And then I'll be back.
Yeah. And
that went on for probably about 8 months, I think. 6 to 8 months, might have been. So, in the same type thing, I just gotten to the point where I'm like, I gotta, and I'm always talking to myself. I've been doing the 40-day reset with a group it was started January 3rd. And this is something I've been honing on, right? Mind, body reset. The importance of the mind. You got to become your own cheerleading squad. You should be able to hear you. You should be able to hear, like, what you doing? What the hell are you supposed to be doing? We good. All right, let's get it. That you should be able to hear that voice talking to you as a reminder. And I like to have triggers. So triggers aren't bad. They are when other people holding the controller. But when you set them up for yourself, even when there's some sense of doubt that creeps in, right? You should have a trigger. Mine is, Rook, tell me what you know. Tell me what you know. I know that I'm all powerful. I know that I'm a creator. I know that as I think, so I am. I know that I can't get it wrong. I know that I'm always on the right path. I cannot be off my path. That's what I know. I know I wasn't born to be ill. I know that I don't have anything to be afraid of. I know I got the army of the universe behind me. Can't nobody penetrate that. Oh, and that's what I just reinforce until I get my energy back. Till I get right back into where I need to be. I slide that boogie right back in. You got to have that because we still feel things. You're still in this physical experience. I'm going to tell you something I'm working on now.
Okay.
It's going to sound real silly, right? So when I go out walking, this is going to sound crazy because people assume like when you don't eat meat that you just love all animals, right? I don't really like dogs. I don't really get down with dogs like that, right? Especially big ones.
Okay.
So I'm trying to, working on uninstalling this program because I know I have nothing to be fearful of.
Okay.
And I know I can speak to this animal the same way that I can speak to the plants and anything else. So that if they are expressing, aggressiveness to me, they only responding to my energy. Okay. Right. So I'm like, I'm feeling good. This is why you got to test that faith. Faith untested can be trusted. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'm gonna go out. I'm going out walking. And so my husband's like, you need to have something in your hand. And I'm like, hey, why I'm good? Like, why am I thinking about encountering something that I need something in my hand, right? But because I'm a good submissive wife, ooh, I love that word. Ooh, we'll put a pause on that one. Right? So I was like, all right, babe, I found an umbrella, right? That's the only thing I could find. I can find a stick. So I go out walk. I'm like, I'm good. So you can tell yourself, I'm about to give y'all some game right here. You can tell yourself whatever you want. You can give yourself affirmations, whatever you can repeat them all the time, 100 times a day, don't matter. Guess what happened? I say, God. Right? I hadn't even got 100 steps. Like, damn. So I'm like, okay. Now my first inclination Okay, go back to the house. Like, no, I ain't no punk bitch. No. Okay. All right. I'm like, all right. There's the fence, like where I walk, people got like a gate, but the gate is only about yay high. I'm like, that he might can jump that. All right, I'm gonna cross the street. So I cross the street. I try to get back into my mojo, right? Like, we got this. I'm talking to myself, we got this, baby. Listen, the dog don't mean no harm to you. You don't mean no harm to it. It's just chill. That was the first, one of the first times that I was testing this. All right, some days passed, I ain't see no dog. Or I would see some and, they were minding their business. I'm like, okay, cool. But it's a certain types, like the pit bulls is always like, okay, I got to watch this mug right here. And the last instance that I had, and I knew it because I could feel it, right? I could feel the dog was big. It was a big old black dog. I'm like, bro, mind your business, bro. Why is your attention on that? Why are you even giving energy to that? You are feeding the fear. If you would just stay in your zone, you shouldn't even see that dog. Right?
Right.
It didn't matter. The lady crossed the street. She ended up passing me. I had to cross the street again. So I'm going to have to report back, right? Okay. And let you know when. And I love this because it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you repeat. It's who you are. The behavior going to confirm who you truly are. I just gave you something there. If you can catch it, that's what you have to use as a guiding principle. This is why I don't recommend folks just doing what I do. You might not have got a belief system that can back up what I'm doing, right? If you really feel fearful and you feel like you need to sanitize your hand, then sanitize your hand. I ain't sanitizing mine because I need that. There's some biome here. There's some good bacteria I need here. Thank you. Yes. Right. I talk to my bacteria. I'm like, Lord, thanks for hooking me up. Thanks for keeping that vitamin production going. Thank you for breaking things down, clearing things out. Yeah. When I step out into the world, I'm in harmony with everything. I'm not expecting nobody to come and mug me. Women be tripping, bro. They be like, they got this whole 1 through 10. Okay, this and look for this and then look for that. I'm not saying not be wise. We do be wise. This is where the know thyself comes in because my intuition will tell me, right? I can see somebody like, that nigga look crazy. Yeah. All right, let me go this way. Right. I'm going to trust that. I'm not trying to prove no point to myself then. Right. My spirit said, he look a little crazy. Let me go on over here. Or she. All right. Because there's some she's that look crazy too. Yeah. And I let that be my guide. But you can't ride off nobody else's belief system. This is why it's called self-work. Know thyself. This is that digging in. This is that. And this is why when opportunities like the last 2 years come, you got to give so much thanks. You got to give appreciations because you got an opportunity to get an inner look at your own self. We would never dig deeper. I try to tread lightly with the whole idea of, I start feeling a little religious stench, when it comes to illness and people experiencing illness, because what the church would preach is like, there was some honor in it, right? Mm-hmm. There was a badge of honor. But damn, you shouldn't stay there. Like, if you do experience it, there should be a coming out story. Isn't there some victory, some overcoming at some point? Right. However, there is a gift in all things. And there are certain people that have drawn experiences to them right now. There are people in a tough spot, man. People have gotten jacked up. Yeah. I mean, the stories that I'm seeing, and even those people sharing things with me personally, it's gonna be some work for some folks to get back right. But let me go on record. Let me say this while it's on my mind and I'm in my spirit. Okay. There is nothing that you can encounter in the physical that you can't overcome. Mm-hmm. Nothing. This is where I differ from the alternative folks. Okay. Right? Because I know what it's saying. I've read all the documentations. I've seen, the connection between the metals in this and the 5G. I understand, but you need to understand that you are spirit above all. And there is nothing There is nothing. This is the hill I'm willing to die on. Do you understand me? There is nothing that you cannot come back from. There is nothing that you do not have the power to overturn. I am a damn witness.
Hotep.
So I'm just saying. Tell him Rook said so.
Y'all, if y'all not listening to her podcast, y'all bullshitting. Y'all gotta get in tune with this woman's podcast. I got 2 more questions I asked all my guests, and we're gonna wind this down. You familiar with Dragon Ball Z?
Not really. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, no, but not really.
Okay, so this is Dragon Shinra. After you collect all the Dragon Balls, you get 1 wish. Okay.
Mhm.
So me, Uncle Hotep, Cannon Hotep, Chad, whole squad, Cassius, Halima, we go around the world, universe, we collect all 7 Dragon Balls. Okay. We bring them to you. We say, Rook, we want you to make the wish. What do you wish for?
For myself or for everybody?
I can't make that decision.
Oh, okay. It's just the wish. The wish is the wish.
We done collected all the Dragon Balls. Shinra gonna pop up. He's gonna say, Kukobane, what do you want? Right? This is what he does in the cartoon. Okay. And he's gonna ask, what is your wish? And you get the wish for anything in the world.
Okay. Boom. Got it. All right. Yes. My wish. My wish is that for every single person to be given the opportunity or the experience of challenge, right? So I want every person to be able to experience challenge and let me see how I want to frame this. Challenge and sensitivity. That's what I want to give to everybody, to the world. I want you to experience the challenge so that you get the opportunity to activate something within yourself that increase your sensitivity to your spirit. Because once that happens, you don't need nothing else. You're going to figure everything else out. That's my gift to the world. But you see what preceded the gift, right?
Yeah.
The challenge. So good. Good.
That's deep. I think you might be I think in my opinion you come in first place with that question. Last week I had on Tori Nix, and she had a very, very good answer. Actually, hers was quite similar to yours, where she wanted people to go back to the genesis of understanding self. And yours is kind of like along the same vein. That's interesting. All right, so one more hypothetical.
All right.
For some reason, Jay-Z and Beyonce has come out of nowhere, and they've co-signed the Hoteps. So everybody's like, oh, shit, we're going to listen to the Hoteps now. Okay? It's a hypothetical.
Oh, I was about to say, when this happened?
She's about to start Googling this shit.
Wait, I missed this.
Nah, it's hypothetical. It's gonna happen someday though, but this is hypothetical. We're preparing for this moment.
Okay. I'm
Jay-Z
with it.
and Beyonce, come out and they say, yo, the Hoteps is right. Y'all need to mess with Hotep Nation. And the whole world, the whole black community of America specifically, has their eyes and ears open. And so we are going to declare a leader, and we declare a leader, you the leader. We say, well, because we need the president of this new nation that we're building, it's going to be Project Rook. What is your first executive order specifically for the benefit of the black community? It could be anything in the world, something that they do, something that we do. What is it that you think would be a powerful move for a leader, dictator, whatever, that would bring the black community to some sort of harmony? Because it seems as though they run around and there's some disharmony. But a lot of this is going to reveal how you view the black community as well, and the state that they're currently in. So what would you do if you were the leader of the Black American?
I'm burning it all down. I'm burning it all down. I'm setting it all on fire.
What does that mean?
Complete destroy everything, everything as we know it. So we getting rid of the Democrats. We getting rid of all of the leaders, right? We getting rid of the churches too.
Oh Lord.
I don't know. Some of y'all might need that. Let me think. No. I'm literally. It would be a clean slate, right? I think there is this idea that we can fix, that everything can be fixed. Some things can't be fixed. Some things need to be destroyed. Out of the ashes, what? That's the rising. There has to be. That's not. Some people might misinterpret and say, well, damn, you saying ain't nothing good. No, I'm not saying that at all. But what I would do is give people a clean slate. Part of me feels like when I look, I view history so just different now. I ain't got no opinions about all the crazy stuff that's taking place. Because I'd be like, damn, well, you got to give the people what they want, right? People have proven that they don't know how to govern themselves, or they choose not to. But we can't dismiss the fact that there's a lot of programming, right? There's a lot of other things that have come into place. But if we had a clean slate, right? We clean what was given to people was just a small tablet, 10 pages. That's it. You are all powerful. You are all knowing. You can heal yourself from anything. You came from abundance. You are abundance. You are forever protected. You can't get it wrong. The only safe place that exists is within yourself.
Hotep.
Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door should be open. You understand? No, it's one more. Ask and you shall receive. Like starting blank slate. I appreciate a lot of things like a lot of people do. Like I laugh. I think we funny as hell. Like we got a lot of great attributes, have done a lot of great things. And again, I love excellence. Like anything that resembles greatness and doing things in an excellent manner. I mean, it fires me up on the inside. Right? It does. However, there is a lot. I make so many parallels with the church. It's because I spent a lot of time there, and I see a good thing. The path of good intentions often lead to hell. And so, just because we are well intended with a lot of things, going back to the ladies, we are well intended with a lot of things. We think we are helping, but we're not. When we give women a pass when they need to be held accountable, that is not helping. And if you are a parent, you understand that, or you will soon enough. So giving the community a blank slate to start to build anew. This is how I know people don't really want to be free, because that I can feel that bothers some people. Because they connected to this thing. They got a loyalty to this shell, this thing here.
Yeah.
Who are you if you have no skin? Who are you? If you have no sex, who are you? That's who I'm more interested in. So getting people back to that and starting anew, that you don't create an identity in something that is fallible. You don't create an identity in something that can be destroyed. Your spirit cannot be destroyed. So that's how I would roll. I'm coming through. We coming through with the bulldozers. We coming through with the dynamites, and we taking it all down. That's the way. That's how I would do it. And I think eventually, truth be told, is what's gonna happen anyway. Like if the bulldozers don't come through, we're gonna self-destruct anyway. Nobody in their right mind can see the path we own and think, oh yeah, boy, we going up. You think because you got money, you think because you got crypto, you think because you got some properties and you got some travel miles that you've come up. I mean, certainly I want you to get those things. Make no mistake about it. I ain't about no poor and righteous at all.
Right.
Like, I don't rep that at all.
Right.
But what profits a man that gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Mm-hmm. The soul is who you are, what is true to you. Yeah, we on we can have a whole episode and talk about the path that we on. And the fact that those of us, it's the smart, I'm definitely getting rid of the smart niggas. All the degree, and that include me because I'm degreed too. But yeah, like that mindset, this is what truly holds the community back. They are the first ones to say, it's okay if they went to the restaurant and twerked on the tables. It's not a big deal. They felt like it. They are free. The white man trying to hold them down. Why she can't express herself? You don't go to that job. You don't go to that white man job and get on your desk and twerk, do you? So that tells me you do have self-control. Like the fact that standards are despised. We despise order. We despise structure. This is the real issue between men and women right now. We don't want no resemblance of that. Now, what is suppressed is eventually expressed. So the bucking that we see coming from a lot of women, it's somewhat justified. So we got a history, right. There is hurt, but it's hurt on both sides. Mm-hmm. There's injury on both sides. There's pain on both sides. And this is why it will work to come together. That would be the ideal thing. But to stay in this perpetual state of, I'm angry and I can do what I want, when I want, how I want. I want you to keep that philosophy and see how it works out for you. Because God is not the author of confusion. That's what the good books say. So when you are confused, this is the game of the Matrix. This is the game of the so-called pandemic, was to keep you confused. What happens when you're confused? What happens if somebody takes you, if you ever were a kid and you just go in a circle really fast, around and around and around, just keep going. You ain't got to go fast. Just keep going around and around. What do?
Get dizzy.
But you lose your footing. You lose your balance. Right. And you lose your sense of direction. That's what the confusion is about having you lose your sense of direction. And the first thing that comes along that appears to look like direction or to give you direction, you hop on. Yeah.
Hotep.
So I know I don't speak the language of the community for the most part. I know. I'm not going to coddle you. I'm not going to treat you like you handicapped. I'm not going to treat you like you're a victim. I can only see in you what I see in myself, and I see power in myself. I'm not going to tell you, I would never tell a child that they got to work 10 times harder because of something. Now, I want your ass to work hard just because you should want to put forth your best effort. But I would never tell a child that. That's child abuse. I would never tell them the system is set up against you. What system? Because the only system they really need to be tapped into is this one. If they tap into this one, what did Dick Gregory say? It is not they, it's in here. This is what matters. They can't stop you. Give more power. They is the new devil. Hey, I was trying to get a job, but the white man won't let me in. You mean to tell me you can't override the white man? Damn. That's embarrassing at this stage of the game. Where your ancestors at? I thought you got the posse, you got the altar, you got all your little stones and crystals, you doing all your little moon rituals, and none of that shit work for you? I need answers.
The tarot cards.
All of that. I need some answers.
Affirmations.
Just another thing to put a clamp on us. We got people now that's looking for bad things to happen. Oh, it's a retrograde. Oh, I know what this happened. What? I tell the retrograde what it's going to do. It don't tell me. We don't even get. It's a reflection of in, out. It does not determine for you. You determine. It's just reflecting back. That's all. Come on now. You can't say you believe that mind is all and all is mind. That this is a spiritual game, and then you have exceptions where you don't apply the spiritual. It's like people that believe in law of attraction until bad things start happening to them. Well, first of all, that's the white people came up with that anyway. That's some of the, that was I can't think of the lady name, Doris somebody, and Abraham Hicks. That's white people stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Is it now? Because so it applied when it worked for you. When it was working in your favor. Now it's not working in your favor, and it's like, yeah. Like the contradictions bother me. Like say that thing with your chest and stand on it. And then how I personally have gotten better is I hold a fire to my ass. And when I got a strong conviction and something ain't adding up, it's like I have such a yearning to know. I gotta know. This would save me. This would save me from the clinches of the church. I had to know the truth.
Yeah.
Insatiable desire. I must know. And when it came to healing, I must know how there are some people. If you go back to any time in history, some people were always fine no matter what went on. They were always healthy and they were always wealthy. What did those people know? What type of mindset did they have? What were they tapped into? I must know. I must know how this person was sent home with a cancer diagnosis, stage 4. Get your affairs in order. You got less than 2 months. And now it's here 15 years later, they still alive.
Right.
I must know. Some people don't must know. They don't bother them. It's just like, well, yeah. There's no awareness there. And it's nothing wrong with that. Like if you are fine, if the past 2 years haven't shaken you at all, there has been no agitation. There has been nothing that have caused you to say, that's strange. That's weird. And keep on doing what you're doing.
Right.
Like don't try to force yourself into something that you don't feel drawn into. If it resonates with you, that's a sign. Let me check this out over here. Let me look into this thing. But if it doesn't, keep on doing what you're doing. Matter of fact, keep going to the doctor. Take 5 more prescriptions. Whatever works.
Knock yourself out.
Whatever works. And the next time they spin up a new thing, because they will not waste this opportunity. There will be something. Like they're not just going to stop. No, it'll spin into something else. You'll be caught up in that web again. And you'll stay in this perpetual loop until you finally decide to put your toe out on the ground. You ever been spinning on a merry-go-round? All you gotta do is just put that toe out on the ground, the momentum cease. So
there's something else you said that made you spark up. It was this term that many people have a problem with, especially women. Submissiveness. Why'd you spark up when that term left your vocal cords?
Because I know what the word means. And the word means receptivity. It's a spirit of receptivity, being receptive. And then let's go back. Let's go back to the corporate world because we love to rock our titles. We love to rock that, right? You better know who I am, the VP of XYZ. I'm the PhD.
CEO.
Right? Director. So in those instances, your ass is submitting to somebody. Because you ain't gonna tell me your boss don't come to you with some stuff that you like, bro, what? Nah. But guess what you do? Your ass fall in line. So you mean to tell me that the person or the people who you say mean the most to you, right? That'll go to war for you. They got your back. In many instances, you laying beside this person every night. You mean to tell me you got a problem with that word? It means because you're not receptive. That's what that means. You lack receptivity, you lack understanding. So we don't have to agree. I can see a thing different, but I'm receptive to what it is that you're saying, and the direction and where it is that you are shifting us to, or leading me to, or pointing me to. I like that better. Pointing me to.
Okay.
Easy. And my reminder is always, if I can do it outside, I certainly can do it inside. If I can do it outside the house, I can do it inside the house. It's not a big deal. We trip over little things. And then as soon as something happened, we all over the place. Oh, you know, my boo-boo, my baby. No. Like, take care of the things that take care of you. Love and respect the things that love and respect you. Well, he don't respect me. Well, that's your problem. And that's a whole different discussion. You in a situation and there's no respect. Hey, that's on you. But again, here come I call them the BBB posse.
What's that?
I call them the bitter and broken bitches. And life has their way with them. They make poor choices. They overlook red flags, and then they become bitter, right? Their heart is broken. They become bitter.
Yeah.
And that venom, they love sharing with other women. So we can all be bitter together, and we can toast to it. Come on, girl, let's get some wine. Let's go to brunch and talk about how niggas ain't shit. Yeah. And you are feeding the thing to people who are really serious about getting into relationships. Like, if it's important to you to have healthy relationships, you're not going to find yourself experiencing that staying in these types of environments. It's very, I mean, I believe anything is possible, but that's very challenging to do. It's just very challenging to do. And most of our mamas, I hate to say it, grandmas, aunties, they have meant well, but there's pain. There is, I hate the word trauma because we just overuse it, but it's there and it's been spread. And we are misadvising women. This is what we're doing. There's this idea that you could just convince yourself that you are so strong, you're so independent, that all you need to do is achieve things on the outside. If that was true, we wouldn't see the number of beautiful, smart, talented women who have achieved magnificent things, who are suffering the way they're suffering, who are all over the place mentally, falling apart, smiling on the outside, again, beautiful on the outside, but decaying on the inside, deciding to take their life and do other things. You can splash that 1-800-suicide number up there. I encourage you to. You can tell people they just need to go to therapy. Therapy like the new church now. Just keep going. You don't get no results. It don't matter, but it feels good. You can do all of those things, but you cannot fix an internal individual problem through collective external efforts. That's not how it works. And we're not speaking to the spirit man. And as the energies on this planet shift, you got to rise. And if you don't, you're going to feel like all of those lower energies you are going to feel.
Yeah.
And one key piece, because this is a question that I hear, and I think it's a good question when people say, well, Rook, I hear everything that you said about what's going on. But I know for a fact that I wasn't sick until I was around this person. I wasn't, I got sick in my house and then everybody else got sick. I like that. I think that's a good question. Valid. Here's the problem with trying to blame microorganisms. The microorganisms are already there. Have you took a swab and did your table, your wall, your floor, the countertop, your toothbrush? Have you ever done that? You have bacteria that live on your skin, live in your nose, live in your mouth. So you are surrounded by these things all the time. It's a little odd that in this particular instance, they will be the cause because they're always present. Could it be, just a question, that you have a biofield around you? There's an energy field, there's resonance, and that your fear and your belief that germs spread and illness spread is what actually spread. It's
Hotep.
that is connected. Could it be? Because anybody in my house, has experienced any sort of illness, I don't change up anything. We can still hug, we can still kiss, we can still hold hands, we still can do whatever. Like there's nothing different because I have zero fear. I know that's not how illness works. And so I don't put that vibration out at all. But most of us, this is embedded. This is a program that has been running for a very long time. You got to free yourself. Free yourself from the chain that says the people you love could make you sick. It's impossible, but you can make you sick through your belief of it. This is why we have to be mindful of what we even think. Have you ever had some crazy thoughts across your mind? You like, what in the hell?
Yeah.
Like it scare you a little bit. It'd be like, damn, I'm glad nobody hear that. I don't even know where that came from.
Right.
Things are floating through your mind. I envision it like me sitting in a movie theater, right? And there are different scenes passing, right? Different thoughts. We are connected through that stream. That's what mass consciousness is. So you can have something that cross that be totally crazy. That won't your thought. This is why if you get into meditation, you got to practice saying, I am not the mind, I am not the body. I am not the mind, I am not the body. Stop getting tripped up over your thoughts because that's not who you are. Your job is to decide. You choose. You choose what you want to accept and then you accept it. Otherwise, you let that shit keep right on flowing by. you let it keep it right on moving. So when people talk about changing the world, and I used to be deep on this until I understand the way things work. You want to truly impact the world? Change yourself, change your thoughts, change what you expect. You know what I expect right now? I expect the courts to do what they're supposed to do. I am expecting that people is such an energy is about to rise up in them. They're becoming more sensitive to their power. There are people who are looking at things differently in a way that they haven't before. They are questioning things differently than they haven't before, right? I see politicians shaking in their boots.
Yeah.
I see those who so-called is the powers, like going back to the drawing board, like, okay, damn. All right, what we gonna do now? Like these are the scenes that I envision when I heard of someone, close to me going to get, the jabby. All I thought about was their wellness. Like they fine, they good. They fine, they good. They protected. All they get, matter of fact, they getting a vitamin shot. This is what I think in my mind. This is what I help put out there. So when we hop on bandwagons, and it's easy to do, especially when it's like chaos going on, right? Look at it. Look. Told you. But when you hop on that and you take yourself mentally there, you are in your creative space here. This is your creative world, and you impact everything around you by what it is that you are expecting to encounter. So, mind is all. Think well, live well, expect well. The law of expectation. You got to expect. I expect to be well. I expect to be able to drop it like it's hot and get up and not have no pain. I expect that. That's just normal.
Right.
I expect to be able to, my daughter she was like, oh, I think it's ringworm. You need some gloves? No. What I need gloves for? Gloves. That's silly. Like I don't expect me to touch you and help your body in aiding you, and then for that to be a danger to me, then for that to threaten me. We got to get back in tune with one another. I'm not fearful of my fellow man. And the government damn sure ain't gonna tell me who to be fearful of. That's the last person that's gonna tell me. The last. Matter of fact, they ain't gonna tell me at all. They ain't even last. They ain't on the list at all. So, yeah. Good things on the horizon.
You know why I know you good at healing? Because this conversation has healed me. I was in a particular mental state, not abnormally bad, just a certain state, okay? And I'm healed now. I'm healed. And this is very important that we had this conversation, and I absolutely thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the infamous, the famous, the wise Project Rook. Rook, hang around so we can debrief. All of her links in the description box below. Make sure y'all follow her. Make sure y'all get in tune with her website. And if you need healing, this is the person to definitely come to. It's projectrook.com. We're out of here. Hotep and Bill, love y'all.
Peace out.